Hello friends, welcome back to Frontier Patriot. I'm Ron Rayfield and this is my beautiful wife / co-host, Justine Rayfield, and we are here for another awesome, delicious chew and chat.
Emphasis on the delicious.
I'm presuming, I haven't tried it yet. That bite is from her.
Yeah, I have my half-eaten one sitting here.
But if they taste half as good as what they look and what they smell, it's going to be awesome. These look like Pop-Tarts or Toaster Strudels or something.
They do look like Toaster Strudels, exactly, yeah.
Or oversized McDonald's apple pies.
You're right, you're right. Okay, so these are apple puffs from a new system of domestic cookery, 1814 edition, published in New York.
Another American receipt?
This is an American receipt from the early 1800s. We followed it exactly as it said, and we are left with this.
They look very sticky.
Just grab them on the side, and there is no jam. The jam, the marmalade, is only on the top.
Well, don't mind if I do.
I'm gonna finish my half-eaten one.
Look at that. Look how beautiful that is.
These are pretty big, so I only need one of them.
Let's say grace over. I know it's not a meal,
This
but
ain't a meal.
It's been a bad week for some of y'all in the southern and eastern area of the country due to the hurricane. So here we go. Dear Lord, thank you for everything that you've given us. Please be with all the people that are in need of your help and your support. And please let everybody that can lend a hand to help those people that are in need. And thank you for this food. Amen.
Amen.
One of the most deadly hurricanes that has happened in U.S. history happened in the year 1900.
Oh, okay. The year 1900.
The Galveston hurricane, I believe is what it's called. It was a Category 4, and roughly 10,000 people lost their lives. It was in the Texas area.
It must have caused a lot of flooding then?
Flooding, and there's no sirens in the year 1900. It just catches you off guard.
So, shall we ching?
Yep, here we go.
We shall ching.
Crunch. I like this.
Man, guys.
That's good.
This one I'm going to make on repeat.
What is that?
Okay, this is one of those ones where we're going to have a hard time talking again because we're just going to be stuffing our faces.
Don't worry. There's 3 more over
There's
there.
3 more, but they're so big. I'll be amazed if you can eat more than 2.
I'll at least eat 2.
These would be amazing as a breakfast pastry. These are phenomenal.
You could do other flavors too. You could do peach. You could do raspberry, chocolate. Put some chocolate pudding in there.
Yeah, I actually have one for beef. I have a recipe for these, but beef. So I'm saving it for another day. I think that's going to be really, really good. It's from the same book. It's actually the recipe immediately beneath this one.
So then it's no longer a toaster strudel, it's a hot pocket.
It's a hot pocket, that's right. We're trying to relate to something modern, I guess. Now, why are you holding out on me, Ron? Where's my milk? Give me my milk. Today I've granted you permission to drink milk.
Well, thank you.
Only because I too am drinking milk, so I'll feel kind of awkward if I'm just drinking by myself and you're staring at me.
That's what she says, but I demand it. I will be drinking milk with these.
Yeah.
Yum, yum, yum,
That's the
yum.
good stuff.
This is so good.
It's so good. We only drink whole milk, by the way. We are cultured in this house. This is something you could get from a high-end pastry shop.
You would pay like $12 for a box of 6 of these.
Yeah, you would.
This is darn good.
They're really, really good. There's orange marmalade on it.
What is like an orange jelly if you don't know what that is?
Yeah. And yeah, these are apple flavored. They have cinnamon and lemon zest in it. Just absolutely incredible. I'm gonna give. Can I rate these now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. These are joining the list of the savory and the sweet dishes that we've made on the show from early 1800s recipes that are good enough to bring to a dinner party.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes we make things on here that I would not bring even to your most cursed enemy, you know, but then this I would bring to the Christmas party at work and everyone will love you for it. It's one of those kind of dishes.
I would maybe make them half size for a party.
They are pretty big, yeah. This is a good size for breakfast.
Yeah, so if anybody, like we have guests stay over or whatever, they're going to get this for breakfast. And then they can have eggs and sausage too, but if you want the sweets, this is what we got.
You are. I was actually mentioning to him.
Some people make cinnamon rolls. We're going to make apple puffs.
Yeah, I was mentioning to him before we started filming that if we do have someone over at our new house that we're building for breakfast, like they spend the night, we're gonna make this for them.
Yes.
It's so good. It wasn't too hard to make either.
I like it. It's got the orange and the lemon in it, so it really gives it like a zing, if you will, and it goes nicely with the apple. Go away, fly! It's a little warm today, and the flies are out. This is great. I too am gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 12. I'm gonna go 2 notches above 10.
But when do you ever stay within the parameters? You always say like 15, 20.
For like a whole year of this rating system, I stayed within the 10 range. But now it's just been off the charts lately because things have just gotten so much better.
Thanks.
Until we cook the seafood, then I'm giving it, 1s and 2s again. But
yeah, every once in a while we still have a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Get away, fly! That fly's been tormenting me all day.
I know.
Oh, you're on number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I like this plate.
Hey, it kind of matches.
Yeah, this is a redware plate made in Sturbridge Village.
Up in Massachusetts.
Up in Massachusetts. Reproduction of an original item at a museum right now. And this plate was fired in a wood-fired kiln over there.
Very pretty plate.
I love that plate.
Mm-mm-mm.
I can't eat more than one of these, though. That's quite a lot. And I have to admit, this morning for breakfast, I did make spiced pear muffins, which were really, really good as well. So I'm quite full, but one is a lot.
I'm sorry, I'm just indulging right now.
These are amazing.
Oh, I have a little bit of an announcement. If you guys remember, about 2 years ago, I said I started reading. When I was younger, I didn't like to read. I couldn't hold my attention. I could read a magazine because it had pictures and I'd read every word in it. But as far as storybooks go, you couldn't hold my attention. The gentleman who married us, Geoff Baggett, is an author and he's a fellow reenactor and he goes to events and reenacts and he sells books that he writes. He writes books. And I just got book number 6 of his Patriots of the American Revolutionary series. He writes these books based on his ancestors and his wife's ancestors. He takes real people and the real events that is accounted for in history, he puts in here, and then he fills in the blanks with adventure in between those. So at the end of the book, there'll be 1 or 2 pages saying the real Jim Bob, what Jim Bob really did, And then he'll say, well, this part I made up, I spiced it up a little bit or whatever. But he is very descriptive in his writing, and if you're looking for a historical... I always get them mixed up. This is a non-fiction.
Fiction.
Oh, this is a fiction.
That's fiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a good historical fiction sprinkled with a little bit of non-fiction in there, check out Geoff Baggett. He's on Instagram, Facebook, Amazon. He's got his own website. He's even on YouTube now. He's reading the story. So instead of like a books on tape, which I think he has, he's doing a video.
I think so.
Books on video, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Geoff Baggett is a really, really nice guy.
Very nice guy.
And he's an ordained preacher as well, and so he gives these Sunday morning sermons, for reenactors. When we go to reenactments, reenactments are usually Saturday and Sunday. It's a weekend thing. So he'll stay there all weekend, and then for Sunday morning he gives church in a tent for people. Yes. He's a really nice guy, but
I've read 5 of his books. This is the 6th one. I think he's got 7 or 8 in this series, so I'm just chugging along. And
I'm very proud of you, Ron, because he never used to read until he discovered these books.
I'm so excited to read this book.
Every night, him and I, we wind down we get into bed and we both read for maybe half an hour.
Sometimes longer.
Sometimes an hour.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, it's 10 o'clock. All right, gotta put the book down and go to bed.
And he will only read Geoff Baggett's books. That's it.
I'm biased. I know the guy. He's a nice guy. We're friends. I am interested in seeing what else is out there, but I don't know what else is out there. Of course, I could do a Google search, but I don't want to waste my money on something that I'm not going to like. But I'm going to finish his series, and then I'll move on to something else. But I'm going to keep these, and I'll read them again, in 10 years or something.
Okay.
Yes. So that's all I got to say about Ron's book club.
Ron's
fly!
Ron's book club is the same author every week.
Yes.
Join us next week for more Geoff Baggett. So Ron got himself a cool little thing, and I got myself a cool little thing as well.
Yeah.
I'll finish that.
Yours is pretty cool.
I'll finish that, but it's settling in my stomach.
I feel like you're saying that to me and not them.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Oh.
Oh wait, I haven't opened it yet. So I'm gonna open it on camera with you guys. I am an antique hoarder.
Yes, she is.
This is no surprise.
Problems. She has problems. It's an addiction.
I am absolutely addicted to collecting antiques. I usually focus on 1835-ish and earlier. So like federal and colonial era. So I won this at auction, not eBay. Mm-hmm. It's from an auction house. I'm trying to
think. Massachusetts?
In Massachusetts, yeah.
Don't remember their name.
Haas Auction House?
That's it, yeah.
Hass. Took forever to get here. There was some confusion with, okay, I won it. How do I get it now? Mm-hmm. But they finally agreed to ship it out to me, so I didn't have to drive all the way to Massachusetts for it.
I was ready to make another road trip, but we were going to fly and then just fly back with it.
Because we do that all the time. I'll win something at auction, and I'll say, okay, Ron, I just won something in Kentucky. And Ron will go, are you serious? So then the next day we have to get in the car and drive all the way to Kentucky and get it.
Thankfully, Kentucky's not that far.
No, but Massachusetts sure is.
Yes, that requires a flight.
Yeah, and we've actually never been on a plane together before.
No.
I have a deep fear of flying, but I'm open-minded to it.
But you've flown over the ocean and stuff.
That's what scares me, is flying over the ocean.
I've never flown over the ocean. I've flown all over.
This is a good knife.
You're using a rounded tip butter knife.
Yeah, a butter knife is not
But be careful. This is.
I'll use something better.
This is close. Be careful. I've flown all over the U.S. for motocross in my past career before history took over my life. But I've never been over the ocean.
It's terrifying. I would always get the window seat because I was so scared. I wanted to know what was going on. So I'd sit in the window seat. I'd look out the window, and I mean, the last time I flew, the stewardess had to bring me a blanket from first class.
Oh wow.
To my economy class, whatever you call it, because I was having a panic attack, and she felt really sorry for me, so she gave me this blanket. But yeah, it's not cool. So anyway, I won this item maybe like a month ago, and finally it's here.
I've never seen anybody use a fork to open a box.
Me either, actually. But you know, someone's got to break the ice, set the trend.
Did we not have another knife?
Not that I can see.
It's right there.
That's the butter knife, silly goose, that I just used.
Whoops.
And I don't know the date exactly on this piece. All I know is it's 1800s.
Mid, you think?
I honestly think it's probably Civil War.
That's okay.
But that's okay.
I seen a picture of it. It's pretty cool. They can't tell what that is.
It's red.
Let's not get marmalade on it either.
No, let's not get marmalade on it. So this is an original piece. If y'all ask me how do I buy something like that, I can't help you because it's an original piece.
One of a kind.
One of a kind. Oh boy, there's quite a lot of tape on here. It'll be interesting showing this to you guys because it's actually a blanket.
It's very pretty. It's not faded or nothing. It looks clean.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking for one of these coverlets for years.
Oh.
And finally I found one that was in pretty good condition.
We won't open the whole thing. We'll just open half of it to show.
Half of it.
Take that way.
Okay.
Kind of smells like a old grandma house. Mixed with antique mall.
Smell.
It smells like grandma's house mixed with antique mall.
It still has the auction tag on it.
Let's see. Alright, I might have to back up here. Let's see what we got going on.
You know, I will insert a picture of the whole thing here so you guys can actually see it has federal eagles on it.
Where are the eagles at?
Right here.
Where? Oh, now I see it. Let's turn it so they can see.
And another reason I wanted to buy it is because it actually fits a modern day queen bed.
There we go. Now can you see the eagle?
Right here is the eagle.
There's an eagle in each corner, I think.
Uh-huh.
That's what told me to tell her it's okay to buy this.
I asked his permission. Actually, no, wait, I didn't. I just bought it, and I told you I bought it, and you said, well, it has eagles on it, so that's fine.
I do love anything with a federal eagle on it.
Yep. So it's a queen size. That's another reason I wanted to get it, because it'll actually fit the bed in our new house. We currently sleep on a full.
Yep.
On a full.
Some people say, how do you do that? Well, you just do it.
It's driving us insane too, though.
Yeah.
Some nights we have a hard time sleeping because Ron's 6'2". Sometimes you're 6'3" when you come back from the chiropractor. So it's hard sleeping in a full-size bed, but we have a queen-size mattress that we bought for our new house that we're building, so I can't wait until we...
The full was fine for a while.
It was.
But the more older we get each day and more tired we get each day...
From building this house.
We just want to just, like, starfish out, and before you know it, we're going to need, like, a Kali King.
No way.
For each of us, so we have, like, a super... It's going to take up the entire room, just have, like, 2 big king mattresses. Oh, I think I heard Mish Mish or it was a chicken.
Do it like they did up until the 1960s, where a lot of couples slept in separate beds.
That's because it snored too much and farted too much.
Probably. I did a terrible
Oh wait, that's
job
separate. That's separate rooms. My bad.
Lot number 180, American 19th century red and neutral jacquard coverlet. Or coverlay, something like it's probably coverlay.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. It's in amazing condition.
It is in really good shape. I would have thought this was from like the 70s or 80s because it's so mint condition looking.
No, well, no one probably slept with this. This was probably decorative only, and then you would take it off of the bed when you were actually going to sleep. And that's how we're going to use it as well. We're not going to sleep with it.
Right.
It's an antique, so we're just going to keep it on the bed. And then when it's time to sleep, I'll take it off and we'll have another white blanket underneath it.
Now, there was a blue one you showed me. I might have to get that blue one. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color.
The reason I think it's probably roughly Civil War era is because the design with the Federal Eagles in the corner, I've seen at least 5 other of these blankets that have the exact same eagle in the corner, and they're dated to about the 1850s to the 1860s.
I see.
So it's probably roughly from that time period. It's a little later than I normally go for.
But it's a blanket.
But it's a blanket. Who cares? I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm sure they had something like this in the early 1800s as well.
Yeah.
They just aren't in as good of shape.
Yeah. Well, good job on finding that amazing blanket.
Thank you. You know, this is actually an original too.
Yes, it is.
This tablecloth is an original from the 1800s. I cannot tell you the time period. Our other tablecloths are not originals. They are reproductions.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with reproductions if you got reproductions. But if you got the real stuff, it's cool too. You just have to be extra careful with it.
Yes.
Man, I'm sweating here. It ain't been this hot. It's been so nice the last week and a half or so. And now the heat is back up. It's in the 80s.
It
and
is.
I'm just sweating.
I'm just looking at my blanket. I love it.
I love it. I love you. Hey, I have a very weird history fact this week for y'all that will make you cringe and go, ooh!
Yeah, it did it for me too. I actually found it first, and I told Ron, and it was during one of our nights where we were reading.
Yeah.
And I was reading this book, and it came across this little excerpt about this gentleman and what he did to himself. And I said, Ron, I don't know how to tell you this, but I have next week's weirdest history fact. But I didn't quite know how to tell it to him because it was just so weird to say. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't believe it. We looked it up, and it really did happen.
Right, and when you told me, I said, yep, that's going to be the weird history fact.
That's pretty weird. So brace yourself this way. Weird history fact. Go. Dun, 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 dun.
/ cringiest history fact.
Cringe fact.
Okay. There is a gentleman by the name of Gouverneur Morris. He is one of the signers of the U.S. Constitution, and he likes to self-diagnose himself. In the early 1800s, I believe in 1816, he had a urinary tract infection, a UTI. That's what that's called, right?
Yes, UTI? He had a UTI, and it blocked. There was a blockage in his bladder. He could not urinate.
So, what does he do? He uses his smart mind. He finds a very thin, long bone that's hollow through the middle of it.
A whale bone.
A bone from a whale. Mm-hmm. And he shoves it up himself down there to make a primitive catheter.
Yep, we're going there.
Does it work? No, it doesn't work.
No.
He gets a very severe infection, and he dies in 1816. Now, it's smart to think of that, but I guess he didn't go up far enough. Because catheters are long. They can go all the way up to your bladder. They don't just go in the first, 6 inches of your body or something. They go up into here.
Yeah.
And so he had the right idea, doesn't have the right equipment. But there's no way, and he did this to himself, by the way.
Yeah, by himself in his own office. No one was there.
There's no pre-lubricated titanium-tipped catheters like they sell today or whatever I see on the TV for advertisings. So could you imagine shoving a bone up yourself to use as a catheter?
You know what, though? The poor man, he was so desperate.
Yeah.
I know he was so desperate, because imagine going for days without peeing.
Oh, man.
That would be horrible.
Hurt. I mean, that's how he died. That and an infection.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely horrible. And the guy only had one leg, too.
Yeah.
On top of everything.
He had a carriage accident in the 18th century.
Carriage flipped.
Yeah, carriage flipped, and it was amputated at the knee and below. So he just had the thigh.
Yeah, he had a wooden peg leg. A lot of health issues, this poor guy. But goodness, I can't...
On top of that, his mom was a loyalist.
Oh, really?
Yes, I read his mom was a loyalist, and she gave his inheritance and estate away to the British military during the American Revolution. He would have been about 20 years old, but he was he was going to be into the law. He wasn't a soldier. Is what I'm trying to say. And she was loyalist, and he was for the patriot cause, and so she donated his inheritance, the estate that he was going to get, to the British military, and they used it for whatever, and he was really mad about that.
I'm one of those people, one of those ladies that has the bladder the size of a thimble.
Yes,
so
every hour
I have to use the restroom. It makes it so I can't do a lot of things that I really want to do.
Every time we go somewhere, run out and use the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
Before we leave, run out and use the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Put on a diaper!
I probably...
Just kidding.
Yeah, sure, okay, I'll start doing that. Okay.
I don't mind it.
Okay. Oh, you're so merciful.
Hey, maybe we can get a sponsorship from Depends.
No! No, it's not that
Comfortability
desperate.
and flexibility.
So
Freedom.
I can't even imagine not going to the bathroom for days. That poor guy, he was probably so desperate, he didn't know what to do. And at the time, the doctors didn't have the scientific equipment, I guess. Or he couldn't get a doctor in time.
Maybe he couldn't get a doctor.
Yeah, the doctor would be like, yeah, I'll be there in 3 days. On horseback, and he said that ain't an option.
I've heard some crazy tales or read some crazy stuff about them shoving rods up people to get kidney stones out. So they definitely have the, if you want to call it, had the tools to do it. They had something to try to do something else, but he tried to do it himself, and unfortunately it did not work.
So one of the original signers of the Constitution.
The Constitution, yep.
He died because he stuck a whalebone up his pee-pee hole.
Yes.
Random fact of the day. Go tell your friends. That's a great conversation starter. A good opening.
And I'm not laughing at the guy. I pity the guy. I'm just...
Yeah, he
The situation... The method... The method is...
The method... It's just crazy. It's weird. That's why it's this week's weirdest history fact.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So after this, we are on our way to hopefully pick up a wood stove for our house.
Yep, we'll see.
We're still
waiting on confirmation on that.
Yeah, because our house is going to be heated with wood.
We decided to do the outside wood boiler, if you will, whatever you want to call it, outside stove or wood boiler, to keep the mess out of the basement of the house, and then we can run the hot water through the hot water heater, heat it up that way, don't have to use electricity to heat the water, and we can run it up to the air handler and put a hydronic coil in, which is basically a radiator that hot water goes to, and the fan blows the hot air into your house. So we're waiting to hear back from somebody on that because we found a really good deal on one.
We like Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace is
we get some good deals.
It's a dangerous place, man. If you're bored and you're wanting to spend some money on anything,
or at least window shop.
What's on there today?
Facebook Marketplace. We've got some good stuff. Every once in a while we even get a genuine cool antique from Facebook Marketplace.
The kettle that we did the pumpkin butter and that we tried to cook the turkey in last fall, winter.
Emphasis on tried.
Those came from
Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
Our bed came from Facebook Marketplace. It was a reproduction Chippendale style bed, and the gentleman actually, when we got there, he's like, I didn't want to be weird about it, but I watched you guys' show.
Man, that is amazing.
He's like, I figured I'd wait till you get here, so instead of messaging you on the way down here saying, I watch your show.
We got a Franklin stove. Yeah,
we bought a Franklin stove
about 3 weeks ago.
That thing is heavy.
It's 800 pounds, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe
if it's
600.
I don't know if it's that heavy. I was able to move it, but it's...
It was you and the river rats.
Yes, but I unloaded it by myself.
Yeah, and so taking it back home was funny because there wasn't enough space in the car.
We used the Jeep, and the Jeep ain't got no room. So it's me, her, and the boys, and the seats were down. We threw the sprinkling stove in the back, and then they were just kind of laying on top of it.
Me and
Or
him.
you were, because one of Daniel, the bigger one, he's as big as I am.
It hurt.
He sat up front, and Johnny's the smaller one, sat back there with her. It was, wasn't
sitting
comfortable.
on top of the stove for a 20-minute drive home.
Yeah. But still waiting on the house to be painted. It's been so rainy here lately, so this week it's dry. We'll hope that get some color on it. I guess that's it.
Yeah, I guess.
That's it. There's no other updates,
that's
unfortunately.
It. Alfred Fig has a girlfriend now.
Oh yeah, what is she?
She is a kitten. She has not been named. I'm very proud and happy for Alfred. You know, everyone in their stage of life, they move on and they move up, and he has found himself a lady friend.
Oh, good for him. And
so
good for her.
what should we name Alfred Fig's new lady friend?
I have no idea.
Well,
How about
you
Rosemary?
guys let us know. Rosemary?
This is Rosemary, by the way. I didn't have any flowers, so I just stuck some rosemary and thyme in there.
Okay, they're officially married now. Rosemary Fig. Rosemary Alfred and Rosemary Fig.
I ate some jelly one time that was fig rosemary, and it wasn't very good though.
Oh, but that sounds like it would be really good.
It came from Aldi. During Christmas time, they come out with these little samplers. You know, they got samplers for like hot sauces and stuff. Well, Aldi had a sampler of jellies, and one of them was fig and rosemary.
I love Aldi. We're just going on these random tangents that aren't even historical.
Can I get another one of those pastries, please? I'd like to eat one more before we sign off here.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Please, only eat one more. They're so big.
How many's left? Two? Okay.
Yeah, there's two.
I can have one later before bed then.
I drank my milk. You drank your milk. It looks like we're about to sign off, guys. Thank you so much for watching this week. We'll see you all next week. Take care. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.